Hi, Prosperity Team. It's Dr. Money coming to you from the Prosperity Corner of the universe where silliness is sacred and nobody's perfect. I am your POP, your Professor of Prosperity, and I'm here so that all of our lives can pop with prosperity. Now, I'm actually sitting in my RV. It's really dark outside. There's a hurricane coming. It's supposed to come at about 9 o'clock on high tide. I'm on tidal water. My daughter says the water will not come up into the yard. So I'm counting on that because we are in an RV and it's lower than the house, and I certainly don't want to float away. But I want to talk to you about a little something more serious, and that is the idea. A lot of people say, I just don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I'm worthy of this. I don't think I'm worthy of prosperity. I'm not worthy of abundance. I don't work hard enough. I don't do this enough. I'm just not worthy. And worthiness, I don't deserve it. It's like we deserving something really doesn't have anything to do with our actions or activity. That's really something that's based on shame, something that there's a decision back there somewhere that I am not a good person. And I feel, and I'm ashamed of it. Who I am is not okay. And because of that, then I can't have good things in my life. So it's very important that we begin to remove that stain on our consciousness that says we don't deserve a good life, because everyone deserves a good life. And you say, well, what about people that do bad things? Well, that is really beside the point, because the point is that most of us that are working on this are coming from a place that we've got a mark on our consciousness that is keeping us from the good that is at hand for us. That means that we keep our lives in turmoil because we self-punish. We punish ourselves for the shame we have. We even punish ourselves for the guilt we have. Now, guilt's a little bit different than shame, because guilt is boy, I really made a mistake. Shame is I am a mistake. And when we have that I am a mistake, I am bad, when we have that identity, then any money that we get is not going to help that out. But it also, as I'm saying, we deserve to have a good life. We all deserve abundance. And if somebody does something bad, that doesn't mean that a bad act, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be punished. But from the core, deserving is not about whether we've worked really hard or not worked really hard. You've probably had the experience of where you thought, boy, if I really worked and I did this, then I would have such and such results. Then maybe I would really deserve it. And it's like, and maybe you did, but then what the results you expected didn't come. So it is about changing ourselves at this deep psychological place. It's addressing this wound. One of the ways we can do that is really just talk about it. And that is, when it comes up, is to be vulnerable and just say, talk to a friend and just say, I feel like a bad person. Please don't try to talk me out of that. It's not an intellectual decision. It's not anything that you can tell me about that I'm not a bad person. But just getting to speak that and to be open about that, that's a helpful healing for me. So just let me say that I feel like you're a bad person. And if you really, person has compassion with you, they'll say, I know what you feel. At times I feel like a bad person too. And so I personally don't feel like I'm a bad person all the time, but the triggers when I feel like I'm not okay, that I'm not deserving. And so it's important to address those triggers and not to do a spiritual bypass where we just slap an affirmation on it and say, I'm a wonderful person. No, it's like, let me feel that. And after I get that out, after I emote that, say, I can say, I'm okay. I'm a good person, and I understand that I'm wounded, and that those ideas are based on false beliefs. And so whenever you believe you're not a deserving person, a worthy person, move back through the consciousness and see if you can find where your shame is. Share it with other people. And I suspect when you do, you'll find that your life flows easier. Because when life is exposed, when we just say, wow, this is what I've been hiding from myself and other people, then that takes the constriction of trying to hold back something, which takes a tremendous amount of energy to try to hold back any kind of shame that we might have. And then it lets the flow move. Now, I know that I have shame because a lot of times things will come up and I can feel it in my face. You've heard of shame face? Well, it's real because I can feel something moving energetically in my face when I'm ashamed. And sometimes I'm I don't know if the brag is right, but it's like, okay, I've been there, done that. I'm really great. I've got that covered. I'm the expert. I'm blah 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 blah. And so I've already, I did that a long time ago. I'm just so great, and I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I do, and then I get on myself. But it's not really bad that I get on myself. It's like, what is hurting in me so much that I'm having to puff myself up in order to think that I'm going to be okay, or to impress people, or to compete, and then go back from that. So prosperity can be simple, and we can do any way that we choose to do prosperity or open up our consciousness to abundance is okay. I'm just suggesting many different angles to look at if this seems like the thing you need to look at. Now, all of us need to learn how to deal with our intuition. We need to learn how to listen to what is right. When our body maybe shivers a little bit, or something in the gut tells us it's right, then that's the thing we need to do. And affirmations are for some people, they're not for some people. Affirmations can shut us down, they can open us up. We need to know when to apply them. We need to be smart, affirmation smart. Okay, so this is Dr. Money. I hope that if you have any shame, that you can address that in some way. This may not be the video that tells you a lot about it, but you can find something to help you work through this, or read a book, talk to a friend. And the other thing I want you to remember for sure is that I love you.